Hi there, this is Heather Fiore with Free State Nutrition, and I want to talk a little bit about how to hydrate and fuel yourself for exercise. And just full disclosure here, I am not a sports dietitian. That is not my area of expertise. That is other people's area of expertise. So props to those guys. If you need more information, that's where you should go. If you are really serious about, exercise, or, you're an elite athlete or would like to be, or want to improve your competitiveness in your sport, that is the person to talk to. So just a little PSA about that. So here's the things, here are the things that you should be asking yourself when you're thinking about this information that I'm going to provide today. What are your goals? So are you an Olympic athlete or elite athlete, or maybe Olympic, who knows? Are you just trying to improve your general health? Do you have specific fitness goals, like increasing your strength or endurance or flexibility, that kind of stuff? What are you hoping to accomplish there? How long do you work out for? That's an important question to ask, which has impact on what you do with your hydration and your fueling. And then, when do you plan to eat, and when do you plan to exercise? Okay, so let's start with hydration. So starting off hydrated is a good idea, right? So you don't want to show up already sort of behind the 8 ball thirsty. Okay, you want to show up to your, whether it's a, fitness class, or you're at the gym, or you're, working out with your sports team, or you're going for a long run, whatever you're doing, you should already, you should have like baseline hydration, right? Okay, the next question is, again, how long are you going to exercise for? If it's just 1 hour or less, all you need is water to remain hydrated. Okay, you don't need Gatorade, you don't need anything. You can, some people like to drink coconut water, and it's not that much different than regular water, it has a little flavor. If you like to drink something that has flavor, that's fine, but it isn't necessary for that first hour. If you exercise for more than an hour at one time, this is when you're really going to need something beyond water, because you've been sweating, and now you're going to keep sweating, and you need a little bit of carbohydrate for fuel to keep you going for that second hour and beyond. And then you also need to replace electrolytes that you are losing during while you're sweating, right? So sodium for sure, potassium. You might need magnesium and calcium. I feel like the jury's kind of still out on whether those are important to replace. But definitely sweat, the main component is salt, right? And then there's also potassium there lost. So Gatorade and Powerade, these products were developed for this purpose, right? So that is definitely something that you could use. You only need about 8 ounces per hour, starting with that second hour of exercise. I mentioned coconut water. Some people use this, and it is okay, but it doesn't have the level of sodium that you're going to get in Gatorade. And there's other products too. I'm not as familiar. Nuun is one that I think is pretty similar, although I think the carbohydrate, we're going to talk about that, is a little bit less than Gatorade. And I don't know, there's some other ones. So you want to make sure that they provide these electrolytes that you're looking for. And then there's also some carbohydrate need there too. Unless you're going to stop and eat something, or I don't know, keep going and eat something, you're going to need some carbohydrate along with your electrolytes. And that's what Gatorade does. So it's got sugar in it. You need sugar to continue exercising. You need that energy. And like I said, unless you're going to eat. So that if you're going to eat, then you've got different needs there. Okay, so for fueling, it's often a question of like, what should I eat before I exercise? What should I eat afterwards? So typically 1 to 3 hours before you exercise, you should be having something to eat. And what that is depends on a lot of things. Depends on how long you're going to exercise. It depends when you last ate, when your last meal was. If it was the day before, then you definitely want to eat something before you show up to your exercise. And it depends like what feels good to your body. You want to pay attention to what feels right for you. There's going to be a little trial and error there to figure out that. So you definitely, again, need some carbohydrate. Okay, we're not afraid of carbohydrates here. This is where we get our energy from. We need protein for muscle building and repairing. So we need a little bit of both of those. So here's some examples. Hi, Nisha. Some examples might be like peanut butter and banana sandwich or peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It might be, Greek yogurt with some berries. It might be oatmeal with milk and fruit, or like an apple and peanut butter or almond butter or whatever it is. It could just be nuts and some raisins, some dried fruit. So it really varies. It depends on if you are, really hungry for food. And it depends how long it is. If it's going to be just an hour or just barely an hour before you exercise, you probably want to keep it lighter, right? You don't want to have a big heavy meal and then go exercise. The thing that's important to remember here is that when you exercise, a lot of your blood flow is going to your muscles, right? And when you're eating, when you're digesting, a lot of your blood flow is going to your stomach. And so those two things are kind of at odds with each other. And that's why you don't want to have a big meal right before. You want to give it a couple of hours so you can digest and be done. And then when you exercise, you've got that blood flow available for your muscles. Okay, then after you exercise, there is a small window where you've got an opportunity to replace your glycogen stores. And this is your stored energy source. This is something that you use when you exercise. And there's this little window to replace those stores so that next time you exercise, you have those stores available, maybe more stores than you had the first time. And so how you replace glycogen stores is the research has been done on chocolate milk, low-fat chocolate milk. That is like the main thing that has been shown to be great at replacing glycogen stores. It's got some carbohydrate, it's got just a little bit of fat, it's got some protein, and it also has those electrolytes. There's some sodium in there, there's some potassium, magnesium, all that good stuff. So that's great. If you're not a chocolate milk drinker, then we try to, have something similar to that. Okay, so maybe it's yogurt again with some fruit in it, or maybe it's a smoothie that you make with milk or yogurt with fruit, or maybe it's a turkey sandwich. It could be a lot of different things. If you're not hungry yet, that's where like drinking something like chocolate milk or something similar like a smoothie might be helpful. Because some people aren't hungry until an hour or later after their exercise, and you're going to miss that window of replacing your glycogen stores. So you really want to try to get something in, and then, or if you're ready to eat, then eat your food, and you'll probably hit all the boxes there. The thing that's important about protein is that if you're a lifter and you're trying to build muscle, you don't actually need to time your protein intake. So you can just eat protein whenever throughout your day. Make sure you're getting adequate amounts, and that will allow your body to build muscle. So the general rule for the general population is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. Okay, so I know there's a little math involved. You've got to figure out what is your weight in kilograms times 0.8, and that is your protein needs. If you are, exercising quite a bit and wanting to gain muscle, then could be as much as 1.2 grams per kilogram body weight for protein needs. For like really elite athletes and bodybuilders, it could go up to as much as 2 grams per day. That is not something I would recommend to hardly anybody. That's really high, and then you're going to obviously miss out on other macronutrients because you're busy eating protein the whole time. So 0.8 to 1.2 grams per kilogram. Okay, so just final thoughts here. Listen to your body, make adjustments to any recommendations based on what your body is telling you works. Because, like I said, there's you don't want to be messing around with like eating a whole lot of food before you exercise, and then you end up with like GI distress. Or if you're like a long distance runner and you're going to need your nutrition during your exercise, you want to be really thoughtful about what your body's going to tolerate, like what's going to work best for you. And that's really going to be individualized there. Don't try something new on like a race day or event day, right? Like that is not the day to be experimenting. You have to work this stuff out during practice, during regular days, and then you know exactly what to do on, when it's go time. And then finally, like I said from the very beginning, if you would like more information, if you really want to like step up your game, you're trying to really improve your, get a competitive edge, I highly recommend reaching out to a sports dietitian. And if you don't know where to find one, you can let me know and I will help you find one. That's not what I do, but I know people. So thanks for watching today. Please let me know if you have questions, and have a good day.